I believe Australia has the best slang in the world. I grew up hearing the classic, "G'day, mate," alongside "You little ripper," and my personal favorite, "She'll be right." It's great, isn't it? So, with artificial intelligence being known for disrupting all kinds of industries, I thought, what kind of new, mind-blowing pieces of slang could we generate with the power of ChatGPT? So, I collected 500 of my favorite Aussie sayings, fed them to Chat, and here's the wisdom it came up with. Don't milk the ghost cow, okay? Wine poured from the sky won't make you fly. Interesting. Thongs and wrong? These aren't exactly the groundbreaking kinds of discoveries that I thought we would get. So what happened? Over the last few years, we've seen incredible progress in AI. And every day, we hear about how some rogue Terminator is going to take over our jobs and livelihoods. But what's real? Is it really that close? Over the last decade, I've been privileged to explore these questions about AI as an entrepreneur and now researcher at Duke. So today I wanted to share a bit of my story to give us an idea of where we are and what the future may hold for us. So my journey begins back in middle school. I read about how a false facial recognition match sent Najir Parks to jail for a crime he didn't commit. I assumed these were algorithmic problems, flaws in clever code written by engineers. And so I decided to investigate, and to my surprise, I discovered something completely different. The real issue wasn't the algorithms at all, it was the data. Specifically, the fact that the AI algorithm hadn't seen enough examples of people of color. Yet, as I scoured through the internet, I realized that all the research that was being done in this space was on the algorithms and building better algorithms, not on fixing the foundations underneath them. Armed with that realization, I started speaking with engineers in Australia. And I was shocked by how they were preparing their data for AI. Here's how one of the world's largest healthcare companies was building an AI to detect skin cancer. Could you imagine doing this for hundreds of thousands of images? Not only were these amazing applications of AI stuck for years in these processes, it was fraught with the human subjectivity of the labelers behind it. 80% of their time was spent on this one problem. And I saw this pattern repeat in companies like startups and enterprises, the largest enterprises in the world. As I dug deeper, I began to realize that the foundations were broken. This wasn't just manual work. Over 75% of the data fed to these algorithms were from Western, affluent, Eurocentric populations. While data on marginalized communities often didn't exist at all, reinforcing the inequalities present today. So I decided that I wanted to do something about this problem. I realized that there was a severe lack of practical tools for organizations to help them prepare their data for AI. So, at the age of 18, I started a company called Yuva AI. And our idea was simple. Why not generate data instead? Think of your favorite role player games, so stuff like Grand Theft Auto or Halo, or when you're wearing a virtual reality headset. Through physics-based simulation, we could create a virtual environment for the AI to learn in. Not only could we control that entire environment through code, we could also generate data that matched the diversity of the real world. But more importantly, we could also generate data on hard-to-find scenarios. So, for example, think of generating data on underrepresented populations, or if you're a self-driving car, being able to see examples of crashes so you can avoid them in the real world. So after many sleepless nights, I got it working. And over the next 3 years, we helped companies like Sony and NVIDIA build ethical AI systems in industries ranging from healthcare to insurance and agriculture. But today I want to go through one real-world example to show you what it takes to build successful AI systems. So this was for a major car manufacturer, and their goal was to develop an AI safety system that could detect when a driver was falling asleep at the wheel. Now, this is an extremely difficult use case, though, again, because of the data. But let's break it down. Firstly, there are thousands of different lighting and weather conditions. There are hundreds of different car models too. And on top of all of that, the AI needs to understand a diverse set of humans. There are over 5 million physical differences between us, not to mention all the different kind of clothing and accessories that we could wear. So as you can see, there are millions of different variations that an AI needs to understand in order for this application to work. But using simulation, we were able to recreate this environment and create data that was key for the specific use case. And it's saving lives as we speak. Now, this is the exact pattern that I've seen work over and over again in practice. Highly specific, high-quality data for a well-scoped problem is the key to creating value using generative AI technologies. It's not through trying to create some generalist AI agent that can do everything, despite what some might be trying to sell you. That's why 95% of AI pilots are failing today. Data is more important than ever, yet many of these companies are stuck in these ineffective paradigms. In fact, our research at the Duke Data Lab has found that less than 1% of the world's most valuable information is yet to be unlocked for life-changing applications, from medicine to astronomy. And while synthetic data is one tool in our toolkit, we need new solutions to access high-quality data. And in order to do so, it will require for all of us to work together to break down data silos and ensure it is used responsibly through effective legislation. But to come back to our earlier questions, though, we have a long way to go before we reach some Terminator-like AI. The future, in my view, is a series of specialized intelligences rather than a single general one. And as we build towards that future, I'll keep collecting a couple more examples for that slang generator. And as we like to say, she'll be right. Cheers.